Hey guys, Did22 here, and welcome to the 2016 Much Games Hall of Fame. And I am not by myself. I actually have a good friend of mine.
Hey,
Introduce yourself.
hey, Bragg here from Much Games Crew, one of the co-founders, of course. So as you said, we're here to introduce the 10 games for the Much Games Hall of Fame class of 2016. Of course, they're going to be in the order of the people who got eliminated first, with the winner of the tournament being announced last. So this year's has been really interesting in terms of the games that were chosen. Some of the games that were chosen weren't even in the Hall of Fame tournament to begin with. And we'll kind of cross that road when we get there. But I guess we can start with the first game. And Stu, I think this is a game that you might know of too. It's for the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. It takes me back because I actually own the game. And it's actually picked from Samurai TX.
Wow.
This would be Metroid 2 Return of Samus for the Game Boy. Um, Great game in my opinion. And I guess we can play the video to show off what Samurai has to say about this before we move on to the next games, basically.
Fair enough.
Welcome, folks, to a special video. I'm Samurai TX, and well, today I'm picking my 2016 Hall of Fame video, game, and it's Metroid 2: The Return of Samus, released in 1991 for the Nintendo Game Boy. I'm picking this game because it was the very first game that got me into Metroid in 1993/4. I don't know how old I was when I played this game, but you know, it always has a special place in my heart because of the fact that it was the first one I played. This is a sequel to the very first Metroid game, so yeah, another reason. But yeah, the reason why I'm picking it as well is because it's 25 years old this year, which you wouldn't have noticed. In November 1991, this game was released in America, so come November 2016, which is in 3 months' time, it will be, sorry about that, it will be, let me see, 25 years old, sorry about that. The plot of this game is, after thwarting the Space Pirates' plans, Samus, the Galactic Federation sends the team of, a team obviously, to planet SR388, which is similar to planet LV426 in the Aliens movie. That's what I meant, Aliens movie, the sequel to Alien, where Ellen Ripley has to take out the Xenomorphs. It's the same thing with Samus after the team mysteriously disappeared. So that's the plot. The music stands well with this game, for a 1991 game and for 8-bit on the Game Boy. But the real problem people had with this game is that the fact that there was no map. But that was like the previous game. So enough of the rambling about that. Let's destroy this Metroid first. Oh yeah, that's it. Let's pause the video. So yeah, this is the game I'm choosing for the Hall of Fame. Metroid 2: The Return of Samus. Just because it's the first game I played of the series and it has a special place in my heart. So that's just it really, and the fact that the plot is very good, and for me it's not the weakest game in the series. It's actually one of the strongest ones. Story wise, it's absolutely brilliant. I do recommend you buy it, or if you actually downloaded the remake of from the guy before it got taken down, play it. Do play it. Or if you played it already, then you understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, this video is supposed to be 3 minutes long, so I've pretty much gone over time. But that's it. I'm picking Return of Samus as my pick for the Much Games Hall of Fame for 2016. This is Samurai TX signing out. Until then, thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody.
Okay, so, Samurai had some nice things to say there about the game. I kind of like that some of the enemies look like frogs.
Yeah.
Grotus, if you're watching, I guess he was trying to kill you.
Actually, that was actually the last thing on my mind. I
Yeah,
was
I know.
actually,
We're trying to save you.
yeah. But no, I was actually thinking to myself, I mean, for a relatively short game, given it's a Game Boy game, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of secrets in that game, as well as a lot of tough bosses, considering.
Oh, there is, and sometimes those Metroids, like as you saw in the video, some of them coming out of shells, and actually in the video it was ending with kind of Metroids coming out. I can remember playing this game on the original Game Boy, and I don't have the original Game Boy anymore, sadly, but I still have the cartridge for this, along with Tetris, ironically. And if you're playing this game and you're not used to it, even if you are used to it, sometimes hearing the Metroid screams can scare the hell out of you. Because you're going into like in a room, a dark room, and all you hear is the Metroid noise. You're like, where the hell is it? It always reminds me of the time when Samurai was playing Resident Evil 2 on his channel many years ago, and the T-Zombie came through the wall and scared the hell out of him. It's kind of like that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out Samurai TX's channel. Um, but anyway, that's the first game in the Much Games Hall of Fame. I'm actually surprised that game has not been inducted earlier than what it is. I'm kind of finding it weird that it's taken like more than 10 years or more ever since we've been doing the Hall of Fame to actually induct that game. Because it's actually a classic and it's one of my favorite games. Actually, I think Grotus LP that game earlier this year or last year on his channel, and did a good job on it. And I really liked that LP of his. And Bong is currently doing a similar game, Metroid Prime, on his channel right now. So Metroid is a really good series, and actually this year is the 30th anniversary of Metroid. So it's kind of fitting that we induct Metroid 2. The next game is going to be one from actually Nufi Bongo, from what I can see here. And that is actually going to be Kirby. It's a Kirby game. Kirby Dream Land 3, I do believe. So I guess we can see what he has to say about this particular game.
All right.
Hey everybody, the Bong is here, and my choice for the 2016 Much Games Hall of Fame will be Kirby's Dream Land 3 for the Super Nintendo. This is a game that I remember that I used to have as a kid, and you can also get on the Wii Virtual Console and Wii U Virtual Console. So you won't be able to miss out. Also, it's available on the Kirby's Dream Collection, I think that's what it's called, on the Nintendo Wii as well. So this takes place sometime after Kirby's Dream Land 2 and before Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. In this game, it's very similar to Kirby's Dream Land 2, where you not only get copy abilities, but you also get animal buddies that can help you out. Kirby's Dream Land 3 does add 3 more animal buddies, such as Nago the cat, Choo Choo the blob, and Pitch the parakeet. And each level you find heart stars. Well, each level has a heart star that you can unlock just by fulfilling a certain requirement. And if you complete all the requirements throughout the game, you will unlock a secret boss. So there is a little bit of ingenuity in this game where you have to think on your feet and be clever to unlock some of the many puzzles in this game. Like, the graphics look very nice, the music is very catchy, the story, of course, is nice. Well, Kirby is not really driven for, like, a lot of story, but it's really cute gameplay. And if you have a friend, just by pressing the A button, you can summon GUI that will help you out. This can be controlled by the computer, or by a second player. So you have a little bit of that multiplayer immersiveness that Kirby Superstar brought in. I mean, sure, you're limited based on the fact that you only have GUI, but you can swallow enemies just like Kirby can, using your tongue, which is pretty nice. So yeah, each level has, each world has 6 levels and a boss. And there's like 5 worlds, I believe? So it's not a very short game. It's one you're definitely gonna have a lot of fun with, that I would highly recommend to give a try if you're into platformers. So all in all, Kirby's Dream Land 3 for the Super Nintendo is my choice for the 2016 Much Games Hall of Fame.
Okay, so now that Bonga's done talking about his game, and Kirby's actually a really good game. Um, I guess you probably like the series too, Joe, the Kirby series.
Oh, I love the Kirby series. In fact, I loved it ever since the original Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy. In fact, I actually had that game for the original Game Boy when it came out, and it was so fun. And I gotta say that game was just it was a classic, and I'm pretty sure the third game is pretty good. I mean, some people say it's the black sheep of the three games, but I'm pretty sure it is fun. I just think the 100% completion would be a bit tedious, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a great game.
I totally agree with you. Kirby Dream Land 3 can be kind of the black sheep, so to speak. It's kind of like years ago when Majora's Mask came out for Zelda for after Ocarina of Time. A lot of people had high expectations, and Majora's Mask was kind of seen as the black sheep of the Zelda series. To this day, it kind of still is. You know, it has a huge cult following now. Just like in the Final Fantasy series, a lot of people didn't really like Final Fantasy VIII, for example, and even Final Fantasy X too. People didn't like those ones, but now these days people kind of like Final Fantasy VIII, and they kind of do appreciate the all-female cast in Final Fantasy X. So, you know, some games are the black sheep of the series, and sometimes they turn out to be some of the best games in the series. Like, even Mario Sunshine was kind of the black sheep.
Yes.
And to this day now, I know a lot of people, even people I work with, who find that Mario Sunshine is one of the best Mario games ever made. They love it. And years ago, people would think it was a bad game. And now, it got a cult following. People like it.
Yes.
So, that's the way it goes, I guess. People just happen to have their matter of opinions there, and they're
Yes.
entitled to it. So, um, the next game is going to actually be from Colonel 112, and actually you got your hand in this game. Juice, why don't you announce the next game?
All right. Now this is a game that Cole, Bonga, Colette, and you, then known at the time as Avrofan NF,
Correct.
and then later I did a solo run of it, and it's a fun game. I love it. I love the fact that it's the first game in which you can play co-op style. Uh, Games before you had to take turns in order to play with two player, but they since, in fact, ever since this game came out, it's become standard to have co-op play. But this was the first to have it. And with that said, let's see what Cole has to say about that game right about now.
And of course, that game is going to be New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. Just like we mentioned Kirby and everything, that's what he's going to do. And let's see what Cole has to say, like Juju said. And the probably might be from some familiar scenes once we play the video for Cole.
Hey guys, it's Cole NL112 here with my nomination for the 2016 Much Games Hall of Fame tournament. The game I have decided to go with is New Super Mario Bros. Wii for the Nintendo Wii, released in November of 2009. Why did I choose this game? Well, there are multiple reasons. For starters, gameplay with the Wii Remote is actually unique. You can actually lift up the Wii Remote or toss it side to side to make Mario or company move. Again, I say company. Storyline wise, that's actually great as well. As you have Princess Peach's birthday, a cake comes into play where Bowser Jr. and his cohorts, the Koopalings, are actually hidden in there. Yes, the Koopalings actually make their first appearance back into the Mario series in a long time. Since Super Mario World, I believe. Anyway, moving on from there, we have great gameplay features, which include a solo mode featuring just Mario, or it also features a co-op mode, which you can play up to 2, 3, or even 4 characters and play it as Luigi, Blue Toad, or Yellow Toad. Now, some of the video footage that you see here are of both the solo Let's Play done by Ju22 and the co-op that was done by myself Ryan Bragg, Luffy Bagger, and Colette in L180. Some other features in this game actually feature some new items, such as the propeller hat, the penguin suit, and the ice flower. Really enjoyable game. I actually did enjoy co-oping it. I still enjoy playing it today. And well, that's the biggest reason why I decided to induct this game into the 2016 class in the Much Games Hall of Fame. So anyway, this is Cole signing off. Hope you guys have enjoyed this pick, and well, see you next time.
Okay, so I think I noticed a few things in that video, Juju, from Cole. I think I noticed some things from your LP in there, if I'm not mistaken. He also looks like we did some things from our LP. That was not by fluke. To be honest, when Cole personally asked me, he wanted me to get the video footage from the channel and give it to him so he can make his video and do his commentary on this. And he specifically actually asked me to use some of your footage from your LP to do, along with the Much Games crew footage from years ago, like the Get Off My Yoshi that's infamous on our channel and things like that. So some of those scenes are from our LP and a few of them are from yours. So kind of past and present intertwine, so to speak. So yeah, that is a game that I think a lot of people enjoy. It's one of my favorite games. I still have the game, and I don't think you'll ever see it LP'd on Much Games again, to be honest, because it's been done solo by you and it's been done as a co-op. So really, I don't see it being done again, unless I guess 4 other people want to co-op it that didn't co-op it before, and something that I doubt it because it's been played twice now on the channel. So I think you probably won't see it LP'd anymore on our channel, but still, great game to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for this year. And I guess you would agree.
Yeah, in fact, I already made my point on that.
Exactly, before we announced the video. The next video is actually a series that I grew up playing. It's not my favorite series compared to another series of the same genre, but I do remember Grotus playing this last year, and it's a really good game. It's one of the best games of that particular series. And that would be Silent Hill for the PlayStation 1, a survival horror game, which that was kind of released in counteract the Resident Evil series from Konami, from Capcom, I should say. I think Konami made Silent Hill. I'm not too sure, but anyway, it kind of takes place in a town called Silent Hill. They even made a movie on it, which I actually own, and it's based on like it's town that's they're trying to survive, I guess. Hence survival horror. So I guess we can see. I'm not sure if that's the type of game you play, TJ, like survival horror games, Resident Evil, or
Actually,
Dead Space.
that is actually the bane of my existence.
Yeah, so I'm into the survival horror games. Actually, surprisingly, there's not a survival horror LP currently LP'd or has been LP'd yet on Much Games. I don't count Castlevania because that's been done on Much Games, but I don't count Castlevania. Maybe one of these days, maybe Grotus or someone will do Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Dead Space, something along that lines. Maybe Bioshock. Bioshock's not really survival horror, but Doom. These are first-person shooters. But you get the gist. Those type of games haven't been done on the channel yet. Surprisingly, the only kind of first-person shooter that was ever done was probably Portal, by Sepultura 4. But anyway, let's see what Grotus has to say about that particular game.
Silent Hill is a game where you play as a guy named James something. He and his daughter is traveling to Silent Hill. They end up in a car accident and the daughter disappears. And it's James' job to find his daughter and to make sure that she's alive. It's a horror game, a psychological horror. You will see a lot of twisted animals and monsters throughout the games. It's a very dark tone game, and you mix between 2 dimensions. the real world and another world where all the demons reside. The demon world, also known as the netherworld, also has a very mechanical feel to it, or industrial setting, which offers you a great scary area to explore. There are 3 major areas of the game. There's a school, a hospital, and a final area, which is an underground facility where the experiments took place, which you learn about throughout the games. The controls are very clunky and tank-like, so it will be difficult for you to control your characters at first. You will also meet a different set of characters throughout the game. Some very weird characters, a nurse, which ends up dying, a policewoman, which you end up killing if you're getting a terrible ending. You can save her and, keep her from dying. And a strange businessman, which you are required to meet in order to get the good ending of the game. The game also have 4 various endings. 1 really bad ending, 1 less bad ending, 1 good ending, which is the canon ending, and 1 really good ending, which is obviously the best ending to get. Of course, there's also bonus endings, which you can get by completing certain tasks at certain points of the game. But these endings can only be achieved on a New Game Plus playthrough, so keep that in mind. And that, my friends, is Silent Hill, which was chosen for this Hall of Fame of the year 2016 for the Much Games Guides. This has been Upgross. Thank you very much for watching. Stay for everyone. And I will see you next time. See you then.
Okay, did you want to kind of give any follow-ups on this, or did we kind of really already say what I had to say about survival horror games?
Well, I can see Grotus is into it because I'm definitely not. I was scared, like I was just hiding under the desk, wondering when it was over.
Yes.
It's scared.
Yeah. You're the type of person that doesn't like the horror movies and survival horror games, and you know what? To each their own. I can play them if I play a survival horror game. Like I said, I alluded to Resident Evil, especially Resident Evil 2 with Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. But survival horror games, you gotta take them with a grain of salt. They're not real, but still they can be scary. Especially some of the later games. There's a couple of survival horror games that can really be scary. Silent Hill, I gotta say, I like the Silent Hill series, and if I had to pick any of the games in Silent Hill series that I would like to play the most, it has to be the first one, which is the one that Grotus put in. So, great selection, Grotus. Great selection so far for all the members that we've announced so far. From Metroid 2, Kirby, New Super Mario Bros., Silent Hill, and the next game is going to be actually from Sephiroth 1204, who just recently completed his Crisis Core LP for Final Fantasy VII. So I guess, did you want to announce the game and like the name of the game, and then we can kind of talk about it,
Yes.
and then move on to his video, of course.
Absolutely. Sephiroth 1204, very great guy. Probably one of the most wonderful personalities that, whether it's here on Skype or Twitter or on YouTube, he's just one of the nicest people you will ever meet. And he couldn't have picked a very good game. As if the other games were not good. They were great, but this one is probably up there. And it is the sequel to the original Portal, Portal 2.
Okay, and you did a great introduction. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Maybe after he speaks about it. So let's get into seeing what Sephiroth 1204 has to say about Portal 2.
Hello everybody, it's Sephiroth4 for the Much Games Hall of Fame. And the game that I'm going to be picking to be inducted in is Portal 2 for the PC. And later, I think it went on some consoles, but it came out in 2011, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. It improved on the first in just about every single category. The music was better, The atmosphere was better, the story was better, the characters were better, the puzzles were better, the length was better, just everything. Even the graphics were a bit sharper. What can I say about it? It's a story where it takes playing around with cubes and somehow portals and turns it into a whole plot about a crazy mad scientist type character who had a lot of money that made a giant facility that, well, could do anything, and his fall, and then a giant computer that tries to kill you, and then another computer that tries to kill you. And mixed into all of this is some of the funniest dialogue in any video game I've ever seen, interspersed just perfectly into a wide variety of different types of puzzles and ways to solve the rooms, and just brain-bending ways of just going around and doing everything, and all sorts of fun actions. And the timing of the writing and everything it's all just perfect. And it's one of the very few games I've ever given a perfect score to when playing it. And to this day, I still hold that, and that's why I think that it should go in, because, well, this game is perfect, unless you don't like puzzles.
Okay, he has a lot of fun with that game, I gotta say. I remember watching him play Portal on Much Games a while ago. And he has a lot of fun. It's not a game that actually I have played. I've never played the Portal games. But judging by his LP and what he just said about Portal 2, I kind of want to go on Steam after we do this Hall of Fame video and kind of get those games if I can, and play them as my own casual runs, not even LP them, because looks like he's having a lot of fun, some funny moments in those games, he has a lot of fun with the game. So Portal 2 is a game that a lot of people are probably going to enjoy, and it actually sells pretty well. So if you're into those type of games, puzzle games, you got a first-person shooter view, like first point of view, people are into those games, great. That's what I like about the Metroid Prime series, to be honest, is first-person view, the Doom series, all those kind of first-person shooters. The first person is going almost like from your eye view, and that's the way Portal kind of looks like. They're going from, it's like you're actually walking around, but it's actually someone else that you're controlling. And those type of games are great.
Yes.
Now, here's a game. I'll announce this one from Old World Gamer. This game was actually not in the Much Games Hall of Fame tournament. He actually did pick one of his games that was in the tournament, but then decided to swap that for this game. And this game, it was like a Commodore, I think it was on Commodore 64, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure Old World Gamer, being the way he is, and he knows so much about classic games, he'll probably tell you what systems are on once we see his video. But that game happens to be, and it's one that I love playing, I used to play it on my PC all the time, that would be SimCity.
Oh, yes.
SimCity, if you don't know what SimCity is, you're basically been living under a rock. This type of game is great. I'm not going to explain what it's about, because that's what Old World Gamer's going to do. So let's see what he has to say about SimCity.
Hey there everyone, it's the Old World Gamer, and my nomination, if you can't tell already, for the Much Games Hall of Fame for 2016 is SimCity for the Super Nintendo. SimCity was originally developed in '85 for the Commodore 64 by game designer Will Wright, but it wasn't until February of 1989 that it was published by Maxis through Broderbund and released for the Amiga and Macintosh, and later that year to the Commodore 64 and IBM PC. I myself never grew up with any of these computer-type systems or consoles, but I did get to play it on the Super Nintendo a few years later. Again, it was licensed by Maxis, but published by Nintendo, and that was in '91. This version of the game had some very unique additions, such as replacing Godzilla with Bowser. There's also a Mario statue you receive when you reach a certain achievement. And it also incorporated special building rewards such as casinos, the mayor's house, amusement park, zoos, and there's a few others. So anyways, the purpose of the game is to basically create a city in which there's no defining win or lose situation. Outside of just, letting your town become deserted and watching it forever. Yeah, anyways, you lay out residential and commercial and industrial zones throughout your selected map and connect these buildings with roads and electrical lines between power plants and buildings you construct. And depending on some certain factors, such as property values, your town will begin to grow and the buildings will change over time as more people move in. You'll have to pay attention to crime, pollution, and traffic in order to keep people happy and to allow your city to continue climbing in size. The game also includes regulating taxes to pay for your police and fire department coverage and to protect your cities from fires and crimes. And taxes also included roads, which also included railways, and if you neglected them, you'd actually see little pieces of these roads start deteriorating due to lack of funding. So the game does provide a little challenge to the players, but that's just free play mode. The game also included 8 scenarios, including the San Francisco earthquake, Tokyo monster attack, burn traffic, Detroit crime, Boston nuclear meltdown, Rio de Janeiro coastal flooding, Las Vegas UFO attacks, and another one called Freeland. You gotta just play it. Anyway, SimCity on the SNES was the first time the SimCity franchise ever came to a home console. Nintendo also kept the game fairly similar to the computer versions, but making the cursor work a lot like a mouse. And the SNES mouse also works with the game. Take that, Mario Paint! You're still awesome. Don't be mad. Please. Anyways, if you enjoy building cities or even just simulation games, give the SNES version a try. It may surprise you how much fun it can be. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
He hit a lot of good points in that video about SimCity. I gotta say, I couldn't say it better myself.
No, I couldn't.
And I'll let go ahead.
I was just gonna say, although this game has spawned a number of spin-offs like the Sims series.
Exactly. Like, if it wasn't for games like SimCity, you wouldn't have, and this is another game that was on Super Nintendo. There was one called Sim Ant. It was actually, you had to build an ant colony. And, like you said, The Sims. All the Sims games where you're making, neighborhoods with people and all that kind of stuff. None of these games would have been possible if you didn't have games like SimCity. They revolutionized that type of genre. Without SimCity, SimAnt, those simulation type games, you wouldn't have Flight Simulator, like Microsoft's Flight Simulator. Like I said, Sims, Sims and all those games. None of those would have been around probably if you didn't have games like SimCity coming up with those ideas. And you could always destroy your cities in SimCity. Like, you could build a city and then you could launch a tornado if you wanted to yourself.
Wow.
If you wanted to do that. And sometimes the game will launch tornadoes by themselves and destroy parts of your city, and then you had to rebuild. So it kind of actually taught you how to manage a city. So you kind of became almost a city man. And, I've heard stories where people played SimCity as kids, and they grew up to be city planners. They grew up to be architects, and built buildings like architects do, and things like that. And they kind of said games like SimCity kind of got them in that kind of interest to build model planes and stuff like that when they were kids, and they grew up to that kind of field. So it can kind of teach you things like that. And
Good.
I think he has a great choice there with SimCity, and
Very
I couldn't say it better.
Yeah. But then, what about the next choice? What's up next?
Well, the next game is actually from Moves, another great Much Games crew member. I really enjoy his LPs a lot. This game is actually one of my favorite games, and it's on the PlayStation 1. It's actually the second of that game on the PlayStation 1, but it's actually like a part of the Saga, like the Secret of Mana, all these kind of games. It's an RPG, and let's just say it's called Saga Frontier 2. It's a RPG game, not a tactical RPG or anything like that, so it's a game that Newfie Bongo would play. As we all know, Bongo doesn't like tactical games, such as, Front Mission. But maybe one of these days he'll do it just for the hell of it. But anyway, let's see what Moves has to say about one of my favorite RPGs, besides the Final Fantasy games, for the PlayStation 1. And that would be, like I said, Saga Frontier 2.
Hey everybody, it's Mr. Movies 87 here with my nomination for the Much Games True Hall of Fame. And for my game entry, I'll be throwing it back to an old school PS1 RPG favorite of mine. Released in 2000 for the PS1 in North America, this game is a pretty underrated gem, even was back then and really is still today as well. I bring you Saga Frontier 2, the follow-up to Saga Frontier 1, not a direct sequel, but in the same franchise as a whole. This game has everything you want in an RPG, in my opinion. From top to bottom, soundtrack, story, characters, graphics, gameplay, it has it all and then some. A couple of my favorite things about this game, two of which I'll note for sure. The watercolor art style, everything in this game is hand-drawn actually in watercolor art, and I mean every little thing. So the game really pops out at you, even on the PS1 back in the day. And also, my other thing I want to mention is the soundtrack. One of my favorite OSTs in like any game as a whole. Multiple awesome battle themes there, which you can never go wrong with there. Final boss themes are awesome. Every town theme is perfectly suited to the area there. Just ambient dungeon themes as a whole. Everything is just so well done on that front there. Now, as far as gameplay goes, this game's really unique in how it handles battles because there's actually three different styles of battles. There's your normal team battles, which are, standard RPG fare, but also you have one-on-one duel battles, and also, even further still, military-style battles there. You control each unit, which has 4 characters per unit there on like a style, on a grid there to battle there, which in turn you fight team battles after that there. Yeah, real quick, I only have a couple of minutes here, but I want to go into the story a little bit here. You have an intertwining story here with 2 main characters. Gustav, who is the heir to the throne, but unfortunately is exiled due to not having anima, which is, the main life force in the game, as it were, the ability to use spells as well. So, in turn, he's banished as an outcast for that, and returns to his kingdom 20 years later to take it over again. On the other path, we have William Knight, who is on a quest here to become the most popular and the best well-known digger ever, and also on a quest to find the egg, which in turn, I'm using that phrase a lot here, ties into the murder of his father, and also his mother for that matter too. So these characters, they never actually directly meet in the game here, but their stories do intertwine quite a bit there, so it's really cool how it's handled there. If you have a chance to pick out this game, it's unfortunately not on the PS1, but you should be able to find a hard copy for it pretty cheap on like Amazon or whatever, so if you're able to pick it up, I highly recommend it there if you're able to do so. And with that, guys, this has been Mr. Movies 87 signing off. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.
Okay, coming up with Saga Frontier 2, I like what he did there in his video. He hit a lot of good points. He showed some really good scenes, some of the scenes that were iconic to me, and that I really remembered. I even like that he showed like the Square logo at the beginning, because that's who made the game, Square, now Square Enix. But he hit some really good points in that, and I gotta say, it's one of my favorite games of all time on the PlayStation 1 in terms of RPGs. If I wasn't playing Final Fantasy games on PlayStation 1, I was either playing Lunar Silver Star Story or Eternal Blue, or I was playing Saga Frontier. Maybe Xenogears also. But I think that's a great choice to be going to the Hall of Fame, just like the other games that have gone before it so far. I'm actually surprised it hasn't been in sooner. Just like most of the games actually today in this Hall of Fame video that we're doing, I'm actually surprised haven't been inducted earlier. Some of them weren't eligible to be eligible. We do have eligibility rules for what games can be put in. They have to be a certain amount of years old. But most of the games that are listed today were eligible ever since the Hall of Fame started. Just no one picked the game. So I guess you can announce the next game, and it's not a game that I would see Newfie Bongo play, though.
Yeah, it would definitely be a game I would play if I had the systems to do it, but it's definitely one that encompasses a number of generations, if I do say so myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the guy that suggested this game is our very good friend, Zeo Lightning. And his game is Sonic Generations, probably one of the best Sonic games to come out in the last 5 years.
And I guess we can see what Zio has to say about this particular game. Now, I will let you know, just so everybody know, because I've seen some of these, all these Hall of Fame videos were submitted to me. Um, for the purpose of this video. I will let you know I was informed by Cole when Cole gave me Zio's video and everything that Zio was actually coming down with a cold at the time, so his voice might not sound as his normal self. So just bear with Zio when he announces his game here and talks about Sonic Generations, as he was becoming sick at the time, like fighting a cold or whatever the case might be. But anyway, let's see Sonic Generations from Zio.
Sonic the Hedgehog. A name recognizable by many. Upon its first release for Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis, June 23rd, 1991, he's a worldwide phenomenon and an instantly recognizable face. But the Hedgehog always has had a great career. It's been sort of a roller coaster. Some people regard his games as always bad since Sonic Adventure. Some say it was only just an era. But the game I'm going to be talking about today is a game unanimously agreed upon to be amazing. Sonic Generations. A game made to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Sonic. Sonic combines his classic elements with his modern elements, being able to play as both classic and modern Sonic. Classic Sonic utilizes a new engine made specially for him just for 2D sections. It plays very similar to the classics, and it's very welcome to the fan base. While modern Sonic is at his best in the boost formula. The game utilizes stages from Sonic's past and reimagines them in ways that no fan has ever seen before. The story isn't that big of a deal, especially since it's very All that matters is the gameplay, which is unanimously decided upon as the best Sonic has been in years. And that's why I feel it deserves this spot in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so I like a lot of things in that video. I like a lot of the things that Zio said about Sonic Generations. Actually, it's one of my favorite Sonic games. Of the modern era, I gotta say. I gotta say modern era. Because my favorite Sonic games are still the Genesis ones, like Sonic. I think like Cole would say his favorite Sonic game is Sonic 2. I got because of the music. Samurai TX I think would say the same thing. I would have to disagree with them and kind of say Sonic 3 and Knuckles would be. Which in that video you actually did see a level for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sky Sanctuary. Not in this video, but in this game I should say. And it's a game that I recently just did on the Much Games channel recently. I also did it on my channel at the same time, so I did a dual LP of it, and a lot of fun. I didn't 100% the game when I LP'd it on my channel on Much Games, but I did get all the Chaos Emeralds. Actually, it's required to get all the Chaos Emeralds, and fight Shadow, and Shadow's an iconic character, and Silver. But Sonic Generations kind of brings the good days of Sonic with the new days of Sonic. Sonic's been after getting a bad rap a couple of times lately. Some of the games from Sonic have been like really bad, such as Sonic Boom, Sonic Lost, Sonic Lost World was actually not too bad. I didn't mind that one as much, but Sonic 06 was bad, really bad. Sonic Boom was bad. Hopefully, when they come out with the new Sonic games next year, one's gonna be like a classic Sonic game. I forget the name of it right now. And there's going to be another Sonic game, which is going to be a modern Sonic. From what I've seen in the trailers of those, they actually look really good. And hopefully Sonic kind of goes in the right direction, doesn't kind of like screw up. It's always like a hit or miss. You got like Sonic 06 bad. Sonic Unleashed wasn't. I didn't really care for the Werehog thing. And then for me, after Sonic Adventure 2, or maybe even Sonic Heroes was actually good.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
at
was good.
maybe after Sonic Heroes, the next great Sonic game, in my opinion, was probably like Sonic 4 Episode 1 and Episode 2, and Sonic Generations. A lot of the other ones, like Sonic and the Secret Ring, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Boom, Sonic 06. A lot of
What about
those.
Sonic Colors?
Sonic Colors was really good. You did remind me of that. Sonic Colors was really good, and I actually had that game. And actually, probably might LP that on Much Games later this year. But Sonic Colors is really good. I do like the whole, um, color effects, and I forget what
It's I
the
think it has something to do with aliens. But I
yeah,
just
it
forget the
has.
names.
I forget the names of the power ups, what they're called. But anyway, and some of those actually are in Sonic Generations. Like Planet Wasp and all those, or Wisp. I mean, Planet Wisp is in the game, and
Yes, it was.
you got like Sky Sanctuary was recreated from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or Sonic and Knuckles, and then you have like Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 2 and Green Hill Zone, Sonic 1. You even have like Speed Highway, um, City Escape. City Escape is probably one of my favorite levels in the game, mainly because you're kind of doing like the snow, doing the almost like the snowboarding down the hill, and it has such an awesome song. Like they even took the song from Sonic Adventure 2 and planted it into the game, and you even got Sonic 06 levels. So you can tell that I'm really excited to see Sonic Generations finally be in the Much Games Hall of Fame for 2016.
It is.
Greatly deserved, and I look forward to seeing what the new Sonic games look like next year when they are released by Sega. This game here is actually going to be announced by you, and I think you know why.
Of course. This is my induction to the Much Games Hall of Fame, and it was close, but it didn't quite get there quite yet. But nonetheless, though, it's one of the best games out there. Well, at least at the time it was. It was released in 1997, but don't take my word for it. Actually, on second thought, you should. Without further ado, here's what yours truly has to say about it in the video.
I've been waiting for you, Star Fox.
Yeah, you waited a long time!
Let me see if I can get this. Oh, I didn't get it.
Here comes a big one.
That's what she said. Ooh! Move it on.
Flippy here. I'm okay.
LP Grotus, is that you?
Nope, it's just me, Jude22, and I give to you a very, very quick review of Star Fox 64. Now, this is a game that I did a Let's Play of on my own channel, but I love it so much because I grew up with the game. I grew up with the Nintendo 64, and I love it so much that, well, it's just a fun game. And I'll tell you one thing: the graphics for its time, and in fact, the starting screen gives you an indication of how great that game is. And from the time you begin the first mission to the time you beat the boss, that is, you know, obviously when you play the game for the first time, you're not going to know what to do, but the more you play it, the more fun I seem to have had, and I would think that you would have a lot of fun playing this game. But yeah, the graphics were so great for its time. I mean, the characters like Fox, Peppy, Falco, and Slippy, even though I called him LP Grotus at one point. But I just really love this game. I mean, this game, like, the controls work really well, whether it was on the original or whether it was on the Virtual Console. And if you don't happen to have a Virtual Console for it, or excuse me, the original game, I should say, excuse me, I would think that it would be in your best interest to get it on the Virtual Console, because it is such a great game. It's such a fun game, and I cannot recommend it any better. I mean, there's so much you can do in that game that, I mean, you can take multiple paths, you can fail or succeed a mission, or complete one or two objectives, with the harder mission being the one that will grant you access to harder levels. But thankfully, none of the levels are so hard that you can't beat them. You can beat them, you just have to know what to do. But obviously, if you need like guidance, you can definitely check out my LP. But other than that, though, this is Jude22, and then this is my quick review. And I have to say, this game is so awesome. It's at a level of...
This baby can take temperatures up to 9,000 degrees.
It's over 9,000!
Okay, so without further ado, I have to say you picked an awesome game, Star Fox 64. I actually have the remake of it on the 3DS. Um, and I gotta say, Andros coming back. Star Fox the original was awesome on Super Nintendo. Its graphics were great. Star Fox 64 kind of blew it out of the water. There hasn't been many Star Fox games, to be honest. There was a Star Fox Adventure, and there was a new one that came out a few months ago on the Wii U. So
That's Star Fox Zero.
Zero, which I actually own. Sadly I haven't played it that much. And kind of watching the video for Star Fox 64 kind of makes me think, why haven't I been playing that game a lot? Star Fox Zero, I even had the collector's edition of it, and it's just kind of over my shelf. They're kind of collecting dust right now. Sadly, but you picked an awesome game. I gotta give my tip my hat to you. Star Fox 64 is a game that is infamous. It's probably the most popular Star Fox game ever made, and I'm happy to see that it's finally in the Much Games Hall of Fame.
Very happy about that too.
I think it's a little bit long overdue, to be honest. Should have been in years ago, but sometimes you can't be the first, and sometimes you're not going to be the last. As long as you kind of get into the Hall of Fame, that's the main thing. And of course, now we have Star Fox 64 in the class of 2016. Do you have anything else to say about Star Fox?
Yeah, just the fact that, you know what, if you, like I said in the video, if you have the eShop channel, or rather if you have a Wii U or the 3DS, whichever you can get, if you have the Wii U, definitely go to the eShop channel and get a hold of Star Fox 64. It still controls well. Heck, even with uh, it's not really a GameCube controller. It's more like the classic controller, shaped like one. That works pretty well for the 64 game, and so it's one of those things that you just have to experience for yourself. But I could probably say the same thing about the ultimate winner, and this was submitted by the First Lady of Much Games Guides. Take it away.
Yeah, and it's a game that I own. I actually own both of them. It originated on the Wii, no Wii U, both of them, and I recently bought the second one like pretty much a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now. At the time that we're recording this, of course. And she likes this game because she likes games like God of War, and no, it's not God of War, but she likes games like God of War, like beat 'em ups and things where you can kill monsters and stuff like that. And she played this game about a week or so ago. Bonga bought up a copy of it and actually let her borrow it, and she played this game, and it's a game that she never knew she was going if she was gonna like it. She put it in as into the Hall of Fame, and wanted to see. She even said, funny thing is, I kid you not, when we were submitting the 66 games for the Hall of Fame, each member had to submit so many games. She literally told me and Cole that she was in the Much Games Hall of Fame tournament to win it, and you know what? She delivered, and she picked one of my favorite games, and that happens to be Bayonetta. And you know what? I think I'm gonna let Colette take it from here with her video and introduce Bayonetta and show off some footage and kind of talk about why she likes the game. Enjoy that.
Hey everybody, Colette here with you, presenting my pick for the Much Games 2016 Hall of Fame. Anyway, my game that I nominated is Bayonetta. Why? Well, let's see. It's a game, Bayonetta is a uber witch who has awakened after 500 years, and her memory is gone, so as you play the game and as the game progresses, her memory starts to come back and she remembers all of these things. Now, she's also have a Nerf punch, so she kick ass and still look sexy while doing it, because she is a very sexy woman who can kick ass, and she likes to dance. Like all of her moves are dance type moves, and she loves to tease the males while she is kicking their asses. So, what is in the middle of? And she can summon demons in with her hair, gigantic demons. So, and she, of course, she uses her hands and her feet with as weapons as well. And I love the fact that her own hair is like her outfit is made of her own hair as well. Uh, what else I can say about it? Um, well, like I said, she looks sexy while doing it, and she is quite a powerful person when it comes to fighting. So, and the graphics in it are amazing, and the gameplay it reminds me so much. Well, it's more like Devil May Cry series, especially Devil May Cry 3, and the God of War movie games. So if you like those, then you certainly love Bayonetta, and I love it. Anyway, this is Colette signing off, and peace out.
You know what? She picked like the opening of the game, basically. Like it was like the first level of the game, like the clock. You're on the clock and you're falling out, which is actually a stage in Smash 4. Uh, so she picked that, and then she basically cut out some of the scenes. I can tell she cut out the cutscenes and showed off basically the first level, right to the part where you get to the gate and you got to jump out of the graveyard. And then she kind of cut the video there, but because there's cutscenes after that, and I guess she didn't want to show the cutscenes because she wanted to show the gameplay, which makes sense. But I can tell by the way she talks about the game, and from the way I saw her playing the game about a week or so ago at Cole and Colette's house, she was enjoying the game a lot. She was actually asking me and Bongo for pointers on the game. I knew more about the game. Bongo actually told me he has never finished the game before. He has the game. He's never finished it. I have finished it before, and it's just been a long while since I finished it. So I wasn't familiar with everything again, but I gave some pointers on this game. But anyway, she likes those type of games. I'm assuming she would like a game similar to it. The Devil May Cry series. It's kind of similar that type of genre. Um, Kind of beat 'em up, going around with guns and killing the undead and the unholy, or even in this case, killing angels and everything. But yeah, great game, and it is the winner of the Much Gamers Hall of Fame tournament for class of 2016. So just to recap, you know, Metroid, Metroid 2, Kirby's Dream Land 3, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Silent Hill, Portal. We had a couple more like Sim City, Saga Frontier 2. You pretty much introduced Sonic Generations. Of course, your game, Star Fox 64. And of course, the winner of the Hall of Fame tournament, which was Bayonetta. Now, last year, we actually had co-winners of the Hall of Fame tournament. It was me and I'm going to say former member of the Much Games crew, Jaxia. We both were she had a Yoshi story, which actually you decided to LP that for her. And of course, we also have, hopefully, we'll get that LP started, and that was Mario Galaxy 2. So this year, we actually didn't have co-winners. She actually won fair and square this time when it comes to the Hall of Fame, so there's no ties or anything like that. So, congratulations to Colette on being the winner of the Much Games Hall of Fame. I enjoy every single one of these games. There's not a single game in the Hall of Fame this year that I can't say I don't like. Some I like more than others, of course, but that's just preference. But they're all great games. And there you go. That is the Hall of Fame class of 2016. We'll have to see what next year brings, I guess, to do.
I look forward to it, and I mean these games are really stacked.
They are, and the thing I like about these games is that they're all not all of them are from the same genre. Like you got platforming games, you got sim games, you got first person or first view games, RPGs, shooters, action adventure. There's all sorts of different. You got some classic and some new. So it's not like all new game types of games, all classic games. We got a nice balance of games in. Some classic and some non-classic. Some of them are fairly new. Some are more popular than others, of course. But I can tell you, if you sat down and looked at the class of 2016, you looked at these 10 games, you're going to find at least one person that knows each one of these games or knows something about one of these games. There's going to be no game here this year that someone's saying, I never heard of that game before.
No.
Unless, like I said, they're living under a rock. Like when I said it came to Metroid or something. And there you go. Some great and some really famous ones. Like the Metroid series is famous. The Sonic series is famous. The Star Fox series. Kirby, Mario, of course. So you got Bayonetta's famous because I guess we play Smash. Bayonetta's one of my favorite characters in Smash. The witch powers and everything. But you got Portal 2. Saga Frontier is great. So that's it. That is the 2016 Much Games Hall of Fame, and hopefully next year we're gonna have 10 more games that might be able to outdo these ones. Because there's gonna be some games that weren't eligible this year and that are eligible next year, and we're gonna have to see what the members pick next year. And who knows who's gonna be hosting this next year? It could be me and Taju again. Who knows? I doubt it, because we like to kind of. With these Hall of Fame videos, people, we kind of like to balance it out. Like, last year was Cole and Bug. This year it's me and Taju. Next year we'll probably have, maybe Sepal 1204 and someone else. Who knows? Only time is going to tell. We'll find out next year when that happens. But anyway, that is basically it for the Much Games Hall of Fame tournament for this year. And these are the 10 inductees. And I'm proud to say I like every single one of these games, and I look forward to seeing Bayonetta LP'd. And I do believe that's going to be LP'd by Colette. I think she actually said she is going to be doing it.
I look forward to it.
And if she does indeed do it, fine. If not, if someone else steps up to the task, fine. Either way, you will be seeing, hopefully in the near future, Bayonetta. Starting on this channel. I don't know when. That's up to Colette, I guess. Anything else to add to you here?
Actually, you kind of you kind of hit it on the head. Except, all I can tell you is stay tuned for next year, and stay tuned for Bayonetta, and also stay tuned for many other things here on Much Games Guides.
I totally agree.
This is your host of ceremonies, Ryan Bragg, and
Taju22. So, like you said, we'll see y'all next year for the 2017 Much Games Hall of Fame inductees. And as Taju said, we're out. Peace out. And look forward to more LPs from the members of the Much Games crew.
Alright.
Goodbye, everybody.